Well, as the maritime industry pushes forward on its decarbonization journey, alternative fuels like Biofuel B30 are gaining traction. But with new fuel technologies come new challenges: stability, efficiency, and long term engine performance. This is where fuel treatment chemicals play a critical role in ensuring seamless adoption and operational reliability. To shed light on this crucial topic, we have with us a leader in fuel treatment solutions and marine efficiency, with her deep expertise in fuel optimization and sustainability. She will take us through how fuel treatment chemicals can enhance the performance of biofuels and contribute to a greener maritime future. She is a dynamic business leader with deep expertise in fuel treatment solutions in the maritime industry. With a background in finance and mergers and acquisitions, she transitioned into the energy sector, pioneering fuel treatment chemical additives in India. Under her leadership, Enmarol has been at the forefront of marine fuel optimization, representing global giant Inospec Limited UK for over 15 years. Coming from a family of merchant mariners, she has dedicated her career to enhancing fuel efficiency, sustainability, and marine operational excellence. Today, she will share her key insights into Biofuel B30 and the critical role of fuel treatment chemicals ensuring performance and compliance. Ladies and gentlemen, proud women, let me welcome Miss Ritu Chaudhary with us on stage as she shares her key insights with us.
Thank you. I will need the... And where do I point it over there? Okay. A very good evening to all the delegates and friends for the marine industry. I'm going to basically speaking today on biofuel, which is one of the fuels of the future. This is because keeping in place with what we're doing today, the FSM. Understand one biofuel only. I've only taken B30. There are many biofuels. Because of the time constraint, I've taken B30. The reason I've chosen B30 because it is the most commonly used biofuel today, which is most easily available. We'll try to understand the fuel quickly, try to understand what issues the fuel has, and how fuel treatment can address these issues. So basically, you have to empower the onboard team. You have to tell them that this is a new fuel. You have to give them the knowledge on the fuel, which is very basic knowledge. You have to train them so they can work effectively with the fuel and handle the fuel thing. The issue is, like VLF4, when VLF4 came, a lot of the onboard staff was not trained. And when they had additional sludging or additional instability, they thought the fuel was bad. No fuel is bad. All fuel meets the ISO 8217 standard. So you must train the onboard staff. A simple 2-page document would give them adequate information. So the question is, we have many types of bunker, but today we're only going to be speaking about B30. And what is B30? It's called FAME, F-A-M-E. That is fatty acid methyl ester. And we must understand there are only a couple of issues. One is stability. The stability can be due to overheating, that's the thermal stability, or it can be due to oxidation because you've kept it for a long time in the tank, and that is called oxidative stabilizer. Then of course, you may have a combustion issue, you may have a cold flow issue because you've not heated the fuel properly, the biofuel, or you may have a microbial growth. Remember one thing, unlike HFO and VLF4 and MGO, biofuel have a tendency to attract water. And when they attract water, there's a tendency for a microbial growth. So you need to keep a track on this. So it's very simple. Just highlight these issues to your onboard staff, train them, and they will know whatever issues they're facing. So we all know biofuel is from a natural source. It is from thing. Now the thing is, the feedstock keeps changing in the biofuel. You can go to Rotterdam, pick up biofuel of a soya base, come back after a week, 10 days, pick up from the same supplier, but that feedstock of the soya may change because soya is grown all over the world. So that is why the specification may be of ISO 8217, but the quality will keep changing. So the question is, why are we using biofuel? We are using biofuel because of regulations, environmental regulations which have been installed, which you all know, which you all must have been updated in your universities and colleges. 2030, 2050 have guidelines. So we are using biofuels today to meet our CII targets of the vessel, to meet the EU ETS allowances, to meet the fuel EU requirement, to meet the Mediterranean ECA. Mediterranean ECA has also started. So the reason we are using biofuel, not because they're cheap fuels or they're very good fuels, because the environmental impact is directing us to use that fuel. And the question is, biofuels are very expensive, but the cost of carbon taxes that you may be paying and the penalties that it may turn out to be a cheaper fuel. So there's a cost element that you'll all have to work out. And today, B30 FAME is most readily available biofuel compared to any other alternative fuel that you have that can reduce your CO2 emission or your greenhouse gas emission. So it's very simple. Prior to using, you just have to tell your staff on board. You need to inform, of course, your flag state. You need to inform your class. And most importantly, you have to inform the OEM, because the gasket, your sealing material, will leak. And then you say, oh, the fuel has damaged my engine. No, it is not the fuel. It is an inherent property of the fuel of having very, very low sulfur, having a very good detergency effect that will cause that issue. So don't blame the fuel. Educate your team on board and work with a very good quality fuel, which is called Biofuel B30. The other thing is you must clean your tank. The biofuel has a very good cleaning detergent kind of a thing. So any sludge you have in your tank bottom or in the pipeline, she will clean it out and she will choke your filters, she'll choke your purifiers. So you need to do a very simple thing. And biofuel has a low calorific value. You all are familiar with calorific value. A low heat value or a calorific value compared to HFO, MGO, or your LSMGO, which are your other bunkers. So you have to use 4% additional biofuel. So it's not that the fuel is not burning properly. You have to use 4% because of a calorific value, not because she's a bad fuel and you're using 4% extra. And above all, you must train your onboard staff when you're shifting to your biofuel. You cannot blame the staff for not doing a good job if you don't train them basically with just a few pointers. So basically, in storage, you may have stability issue. In storage, if she becomes unstable, you may have microbial growth in case you're not draining the water in your tank bottom properly and you're allowing the water to stay. You'll have that in your storage. In the handling, if it's unstable, you'll have gum formation. That is your peroxides. Peroxides are chemicals. They will create acidic corrosion in your engine. You may have filter plugging. You may have your purifier choking. So those are the issues that you'll be handling. And biofuel have a tendency to form deposits on the injector tips because they have a lot of insoluble biofuels. So although by B30, when I say you only have up to 30% biofuels blended in your LSMGO or your VLFO, depending what kind of biofuel you're buying, they have a deposit tendency at the injectors. And that what happens, your automation gets messed up. If your automation is messed up because of deposits, the combustion becomes poor, and of course you'll end up using more fuel, and not 4% more, maybe 5 or 6% more. So basically people say, why should I use B30? The other alternative is HVO, hydro-treated vegetable oil. It's very expensive. Yes, she's more stable. She is much better, but she has got very low lubricity, and because she is non-polar, you cannot have a VLFO with the heavy molecule fuel blending into your thing. So your B30 FAME is the best option at this point. She may be unstable, she may be prone to attracting more water, but she is a drop-in fuel. Drop-in fuel meaning she will burn with any blend of LSMGO or VLFO or HFO, and she'll burn properly. I've just highlighted in black, in your red color, the negative portions, and the green color, your the thing. So she's a good fuel. She has some issues, understand it. If you understand those issues, you'll never have a problem with the fuel. So going forward, these are photographs. All our customers who have been using Biofuel B30 for the last, say, 6-7 months, they've been using it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's a very short, so they're not having any issues. Remember, you'll have no issue with biofuel if you are using for 2 to 3 weeks. But those are all on trial basis. The moment you go for long-term uses, because you're going to meet your Mediterranean ECA, or you want to reduce your EU ETS allowances that you're going to pay, you will start having issues. Identical to VLFO. When we tested VLFO in 2019, no issue. But the moment we went to commercial production and everybody started using VLFO, you notice stability, waxing, combustion have been a very, very important part of those issues. So basically, co-mingling, bacteria attack because of poor housekeeping, the water was not removed on a regular basis, waxes at the tank bottom, and that is white grease. So in LSMGO, which is a B30, you have the deposits come like a white grease, and basically goes into fuel starvation, and your engine doesn't get adequate fuel. So these are photographs that we have taken from cruise liners that run in the European rivers. They've been using our additives, and because they've been using biofuel for the last 25 years. Biofuel has come into the mainstream recently, but in European countries and many other countries, they've been using biofuel for a very, very long time. And automotive has been for the last 35 years. So basically, this is a very good analysis we have done. We have taken 3 VLFO from Rotterdam, USA, and from the Asian, from the Singapore market. The HFO is just or reference data. And we have taken each of these VLFO and blended these VLFOs with different biofuel, like with palm stearine, rapeseed stearine, and soya stearine. And we've seen that the stability of VLFO, the stability in VLFO is the heavy molecules have fallen out. And this testing we've done using ASTM 7061. And when you use an additive, you can see the bottom line. It's become 100% stable. So going forward, plus you see the injectors are getting choked. If the injectors get choked, this T, this is a 6 months, target, but your injectors can get choked in 3 months up to 12 months. If the injector gets choked, the optimization gets skewed. If the optimization gets skewed, your combustion goes down and your engine power loss. So at T, you put an additive, and that's how she comes back into original. So don't blame the fuel. The fuel has inherent properties. If you understand them, then you can handle it much better. This is a photograph without the additive of your injector. This is with the additive. This is the difference of a fuel treatment product. So basically, if you're using VLFO or MGO, you must use a stabilizer, you must use combustion catalyst. These are just tick marks for someone to understand what is my issue and what I need to use. So basically, the last slide is, the best practice would be, do not store your additive, your B30 biofuel for more than 30 days. If you store for more than 30 days, she will become unstable because she is from a natural source. And they are inherent unstable fuels. Please avoid co-mingling. Avoid high temperature, because if you heat biofuel, she will age. And don't keep her stored to another bunker where you're heating the bunker very high. Don't underheat her, she will wax. Don't forget to not drain the water out. That if you don't do good housekeeping, you will get a lot of bacteria content. So you have to follow these small issues. And if you have these issues, you can use an effective solution as a fuel treatment chemical. It's very simple. If you understand the fuel, you can address the issues very, very easily. So basically, the last key message, biofuel is very good. It's very good for the environment. It'll help you achieve your CII targets, EU ETS target, Mediterranean ECA targets, and your fuel EU carbon taxes that you need to pay. So it is a very good option to reduce your CO2 and greenhouse gases. And yes, if you can use a fuel treatment chemical, if you face problems, if you use a fuel treatment chemical to address those problems. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for that wonderful insight. We would like to call upon Captain Manoj Gandhi of Seaspan to please come up and felicitate our Miss Ritu Chaudhary. Captain Manoj Gandhi of Seaspan, are you here? So, are you, okay, he's not in. Captain Girish Jairam, are you here? Please come in, thank you. Captain Jairam, please come up and let's felicitate Miss Ritu Chaudhary.